Victory Boy! Show me a move. Good news, everyone. Don't you little diggy when you see onions have
Welcome to 20th Century Boy. My name is Radio Mike, and this is the inside of my mind. Hey guys, how are ya? Man, it's quiet in the studio this week. As you know, last week was Intern Mike's last week on the show, and yeah, it's sad, and I'm glad you guys are still here. Intern Mike's internship it went for 10 weeks, and the 10 weeks has elapsed. Therefore, he's back at school now. He's just focusing on his studies and such, which is good. Editor Mike's here though, and last week we found out this about Editor Mike from a vicious revelation from Intern Mike.
And most of all, on the podcast, I've just loved getting to hang out with my hero, Radio Mike, and my grandpa, Editor Mike.
What the fuck, Editor Mike? You're Intern Mike's grandfather?
Yeah, I thought I mentioned this to you a few times because my beautiful wife Marianne and I have a daughter, and that's Intern Mike's mum.
So, Editor Mike, I assume since you're Intern Mike's grandfather, you would have been in touch with him a little bit. How's he going? Is he missing the show? What's he been up to?
Yeah, look, he's a happy boy. He's really grateful for the experience. We gave him a framed photo of you, Radio Mike, and he's put that up in his room. His mum's really proud. We're all really proud over at our family. But yeah, he is sad. You know, he doesn't have many friends, and he really loved coming here. So we're sad here. But let's be real, Mike. We have gotten a lot more done with him gone.
Yeah, no, we've gotten so much more done with him gone, haven't we, Editor Mike?
Yeah, I literally just said that, and then you've just said exactly what I said straight after me. You do this literally every week.
Yeah, with Intern Mike gone, we've just gotten so much more work done. It's incredible how much he was holding us back, isn't it, Editor Mike?
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Mike. It's incredible.
But all that being said, this is this podcast is a big operation, isn't it, Mike?
Yeah, Mike. It is a big operation. You know, there's lots of work to be done.
Yeah, I literally just told the listeners it was a big operation, mate. You don't have to say exactly what I say all the time, idiot. It is a big operation, which is why we have a listener of the show who sits in from time to time, but we're going to have him in just for a couple weeks on a trial run as the show's intern. It's Siggy Mike, mate. How are you? It's been ages.
Oh, g'day, Mike. Mike, how the fuck are you guys? I'm just going to be here for 2 minutes because I'm going to step outside and have a ciggy in a sec. You guys want to come out for a ciggy?
No, we're recording at the moment, man. Right? We can't just step out and have a ciggy. I'd appreciate it if you didn't do the same.
Oh, sorry, man. I didn't realise we were recording. I just thought we were having a conversation.
You just thought we were having a conversation, isn't it? I'm talking into the microphone. Isn't it clear that we're fucking recording the podcast?
Nah, mate. I had no idea. You should have told me.
But I did the thing at the start. I'm like, welcome to 20th Century Boy. My name's Radio Mike, and this is the inside of mine. Didn't that like, ring some alarm bells that maybe we had started recording the podcast?
Nah, mate, I thought you just said that all the time. I know you say it on the fucking podcast, but you just thought you said it all the time. Anyway, fuck, who cares about this shit? I'm going to head outside and take a ciggy, alright? Anyone want a ciggy?
No, stay in, man. Stay in. Do you, how have you been? Have you been well?
Yeah, no, I've been fucking well, mate. Just enjoying the Easter long weekend. Going fucking well. Happy to be here as well. Just been going out with the boys getting fucked every night. You know what I'm saying? Getting fucked every night. You get fucked up, mate?
No, I don't get fucked up. I've never done that. What do you mean?
Just all kind of stuff, mate. You know, a bit of white lightning. You know, yeah, it's fucking good, mate. You gotta try it sometime.
No, I'm alright. Anyway, let's just progress with the podcast so you talk as little as possible. In fact, maybe just head out and take your ciggy.
Nah, mate. I'll wait till the end. We can all have a fucking ciggy together. I'm happy to see you in here.
Alright, no worries, man. Actually, I don't know, Mike. Do you think Intern Mike would come back sooner? Do you think he'd just work for free? I mean, I'm just already realising this isn't the best idea.
Look, I don't think we should take him back. It'd be unfair on all the other applicants for the internship. So, yeah, I really don't think that's the best idea, Mike.
All right. No worries. Guys, so much to work through today. This is going to be a big episode because a lot of stuff has happened. Hey, I'm going really well as well. This week I've been filling in on the Hot Breakfast, Triple M's breakfast show here in Melbourne as the panel up. Just, getting more on my CV, stretching myself out a bit. It's been a big challenge. The hours is what's really killing me. I'm up at like 4 a.m. every morning and driving to work. But it's a short week anyway with all the public holidays. So yeah, that's been good. But a bunch of other stuff has happened, and I hope you guys are all well as well, and I hope you enjoyed last week's episode. But I wanted to launch straight into it this week, which is why I think it's about time we get started and do
Do I play it now?
Yeah, play it now.
You gotta be shitting me.
You gotta be shitting me.
You gotta be shitting me. You have got to be shitting me.
This is You Gotta Be Shitting Me of the Week, now with 100% less intern Mike. So fuck you.
It is You Gotta Be Shitting Me of the Week. You Gotta Be Shitting Me is the catchphrase of this podcast. It all started with my friend Tom, who thought it was funny to respond to literally everything with, you gotta be shitting me, which is like, oh, you're joking, or no, you're kidding, man. You gotta be shitting. You gotta be shitting me, mate.
Yeah, it's fucking funny, mate. Mike, I really love it. I say to all my friends all the time, you gotta be fucking shitting me, mate.
Yeah, no, it's funny, isn't it, see, mate?
Yeah, it's fucking funny as fuck, mate. I was saying it all the time, going out and partying, doing the white lightning. Just going, oh, you gotta be shitting me, mate.
Wait, why do you keep saying white lightning in Siggy Mike? What's white? Is white lightning what I think it is?
Oh, mate, just a bit of fucking white lightning. Bit of, you go off the toilet seat or something like that. I'll do it off, just fucking white lightning. You fucking know the white lightning.
I don't know white lightning. I think I know what you're talking about, but I don't know anything personally about it.
Oh, Mike, mate, go get on fucking white lightning, do a little bit of this with me. Oh, but that's alright, mate. If you don't want to do white lightning, I actually was thinking, you know what, guys, and Mike, you as well, I fucking bought some nangs. You guys want to do nangs after the show? You guys interested in doing a bit of nangs?
So you just ask if we're in the middle of a segment at the moment, Siggy Mike. Do you mind if we just finish the segment and then we can talk about you doing nangs?
Yeah, mate, let's finish the segment. No worries, mate. No hassle at all.
Alright, thanks, mate. It's You Gotta Be Shitting Me of the Week. It is the catchphrase of the show. Send it in via the socials. They're all in the description to the podcast. Each week we feature a You Gotta Be Shitting Me of the Week. Send in a voicemail. We always love to hear them. Just email them to me. Record them on your phone and email them. This week's You Gotta Be Shitting Me on the Week comes in from Radio Blake. Welcome to the radio family, Radio Blake. I don't believe we've had you before. And you can take 50 mic points for this. He's sent in his You Gotta Be Shitting Me of the Week. Quite a simple one. Just keeping it simple, but adding a little bit of a twist on the classic phrase. Enter the mic if you will.
Oh, you gotta be fucking shitting me, mate.
Yeah, so what Radio Blake's decided to do is he's added in you gotta be fucking shitting me, which is, taking it to the next level, just adding that little extra bit that just, it's not you gotta be shitting me, it's you gotta be fucking shitting me. It is so unbelievable, that you have to add that extra word, and I think that's great, and I would encourage you guys to put your creative liberties on all of this, Don't stop at you gotta be fucking shitting me. It could be you gotta be fuckity shitting me. Stuff like that where you're really just adding to it and making it your own catchphrase. That's what we want to see. So Radio Blake, thank you so much for writing in, man. We really appreciate all listener input. It's really great. Thank you so much. Sorry, Siggy Mike, that's the end of the segment. Now you can speak. What were you saying?
Oh, mate, I just thought, I was wondering if you guys wanted to do some nangs after the show. I've got my whippets, I've got my fucking, air dispenser. I thought it'd be really fun if we just do some fucking nangs after the show.
Siggy Mike.
Yeah?
We don't want to do nangs with you, mate. We're not fucking private school graduates on our first summer out of school at Falls Festival. We're not going to fucking sit around and do nangs with you after the show. Who do you think we are?
Oh, come on, mate. Get the top of the line dispenser. Fucking air dispenser. Fill up the balloons. Fucking, great top of the line balloons.
Siggy Mike, do you ever question how much money and effort you're putting into funding your nang habits? Do you ever actually question that?
Nah, mate. Fucking do nangs all the time with my mates. But chicks love it, mate. It's the fucking best thing ever. It makes you feel temporary high. It's fucking great.
I know, but I used to do that. I used to do the thing where you hold, you breathe in really deeply and hold your thumb and you cut off circulation to your brain. I used to do that when I was 14. Then I realized it was fucking stupid. I don't understand why you'd still be... How old are you again, Siggy Mike?
Mate, I'm fucking 29. I got heaps of youth left.
You're 29 and you're still doing nangs.
Yeah, fucking 29, mate. Fucking love nangs. Who doesn't love nangs?
Siggy Mike, I think you have a lot of thinking to do about the future of your life, but I don't care. It's got nothing to do with me. I'm happy for you to just do whatever you want, but I personally think that if I was 29 years old and investing money into top-of-the-line gear for nangs, I would probably feel like a fucking idiot, wouldn't you?
Nah, mate, I don't feel a fucking idiot at all. Each their own, you know. You don't knock up at me, mate. Fucking, I'm helping out in your fucking podcast. Oh, man, I'm offering you a favour. I'm saying we can do names after show, fucking dickhead.
All right, Sig Mike, no worries, man. We got to continue with the podcast. Guys, a number of weeks ago, we got an email from a loyal listener. Her name was Radio Sophie. Radio Sophie said this. G'day, Radio Mike. I'm hoping to become the first radio superstar on your podcast. Even though the title of Radio Superstar will benefit me in no shape or form, I think it would still be fun to become one. I've attached an invoice to this email that contains how many mic points I believe I'm entitled to. My estimate is 450 points. And she was right. She did have 300 mic points. In this show, you accumulate mic points with each contribution to the show. When you have 300, you can exchange them to become a radio superstar.
Radio Superstar!
And basically, the terms and conditions were this. And once I confirm that yes, you have 300 points, I will call you out of the blue, and you have to answer, and instead of saying hello or anything like that, you have to say, I wake up with today. And if you don't say I wake up with today, you lose all of your mic points. All of them are instantly eliminated from your mic point account. And you do not ever, you get banned from the podcast forever. Now, Radio Sophie has been kept on her toes for the last 4 weeks. But you know what, guys? Today's the day we find out if we have our first ever radio superstar. But before that, I wanted to talk about something else very, very quickly. There is a Facebook group for this podcast now, facebook.com/groups/20th Century Boy. That's 20th Century Boy. Lots of stuff happens in there each week. We post memes, there's polls, there's posts relevant to the podcast, there's discussion about the podcast. Intern Mike's in there for some reason, so he posts a bit as well. Also, Intern Mike has an Instagram account now. Am I correct in saying that, Editor Mike?
Yeah, the little tyke just thought he'd capitalise on his podcast appearance. He thinks he's fucking famous. He's walking around the house like he fucking owns the place, you know. But yeah, good on the little tyke for having a go at things.
Yeah, so he's got an Instagram account, intern.mike. I noticed there's an editor.mike Instagram and a Siggy.mike Instagram, but Editor Mike, particularly you, I didn't think that you'd have an Instagram.
No, I just want to clear up that all of those accounts, other than the Intern Mike account, are fake. Go and follow the Intern Mike account, but the Editor Mike one's just a cheeky fan account. It is not run by me or Mike or anyone affiliated with this podcast. It is purely a fan account. Yeah, and I just want to say the same. I don't use Instagram, you know, I'm just a fucking Facebook kind of guy. So the Instagram account for me, that's not a real one. You know, maybe in time I'll actually make my own fucking Instagram, but at the moment, no fucking Instagram for Siggy Mike, you know? Just fucking, you know, owning it on Facebook at the fucking moment, you know what I'm saying?
Thanks for clearing that up. So, Editor Mike, no Instagram for you?
No, mate, I'm 64. I'm 64. I would have no bloody idea how to fucking run an Instagram account, you know? The Intern Mike's a little kid. He knows how to do this stuff, but not me. I'm a simple man. If I want to talk to someone, I pick him up on the phone and I give him a call.
No worries, Editor Mike. So just clearing up, all those accounts are fake. But Radio Judman, another loyal listener, he started a bit of a discussion in the Facebook group about Radio Sophie last week. She did a You Gotta Be Shitting Me of the week where she dissed Radio Pat, the second person to get 300 mic points. She was disappointed that she might not get to be the first radio superstar. So she said this.
You have got to be shitting me, Pat.
And, you know, this sparked up a little bit more of a feud than I thought. Radio Judman, who is the third member to have 300 mic points and the third candidate for Radio Superstardom, has said, "Hey everyone, I just wanted to say that after listening to the podcast today, I believe the feuding between Radio Pat and Radio Sophie was a shocking display of immaturity and pettiness. We are supposed to be a radio family, but the competitive nature of becoming the first radio superstar is tearing this family apart. As the third candidate for Radio Superstar, I believe we should join forces and lead the radio family to victory under Mike's supreme rule, of course. Imagine what we can accomplish if we work together rather than ripping each other to shreds. Sending my love to all members of the radio family." Radio Juzzy weighs in. He says, "As a double inductee of the radio family, I agree." And then Radio Pat replies, "Hey, what's family without a little drama?" Sophie hits back saying, "I object. Me and my brother Radio Pat are only having a fun and healthy competition together. Yes, we both use verbal abuse to one another, but that's what good mates do. However, Radio Judgment, now you have got to be shitting me. Everyone, you have just witnessed Radio Judman's attempt to publicly shame me and my poor mate Pat for enjoying the game. In result, you have all seen a perfect example of immaturity and pettiness by his hurtful post that was fueled by self-gain. He is trying to sabotage the competition for his chance to become the first radio superstar. As you can see, he has already brainwashed my poor brother Radio Juzzy to believe me and Pat are horrible people. Don't let this man convince you with his lies. I support friendly abuse to one another, and hopefully one day me and Radio Judd can put our differences aside and become happy siblings again. Until then. So there does seem to be a bit of fighting and feuding here. Radio Juzzy's sort of taking the side of Radio Judd, man. Radio Soph and Radio Pat are kind of on a side here. Do we have to get everyone on air to, for me to mediate a session here? Which I'm happy to do that if we need to. Let me know what you think. Hit me up on the socials, guys. I'm happy to mediate like a counselling session between you so we can work out family differences. But that being said, Radio Sophie, it has been 4 weeks and I realised I had forgot and I was running out of time. So we're going to call you right now on the show and see if you are going to become the first radio superstar. Editor Mike, if you will, please punch in Radio Sophie's number that she has provided.
No worries, Mike. I'm just going to punch that one in right now.
Alright, it's ringing. How are you feeling, Siggy, mate?
Oh, fuck yeah, man. I'm fucking so stoked for this. If she gets it, I'm just gonna fucking lose it. I swear, I'm just gonna fucking lose it in the studio. I'm gonna lie up a ciggy and just fucking smoke it. I'm gonna fucking smoke a whole pack of ciggies if she gets it.
Why does everything come back to Siggy's for you?
I don't know, I just fucking love ciggies, mate. I have since I was fucking 16.
No worries, man. Alright, it's taking a while to ring. Is she going to pick up? Hopefully she does. Remember, she has to answer with I wake up with today. Otherwise, she hasn't got it.
I wake up with today.
Sophie.
Hi, how are you?
Oh my god, guess what?
Oh my god, what?
Radio Sophie. This is Radio Sophie, right?
Yes, this is Radio Sophie.
Cool, I just thought I'd check in case I got the wrong number.
Yeah, that would be awkward.
Hey, Radio Sophie, guess what?
What, Radio Mike?
You just became the first radio superstar!
Oh my god! Oh, thank you so much.
And I'm not shitting you.
Oh, well, that's good to know. Thank you.
I need you to repeat after me, like to be inducted into radio superstardom, though.
Oh, okay, sure.
All right.
Listening.
I Radio Sophie.
I, Radio Sophie.
Pledge to... hang on, I haven't thought about this. Just give me one second.
Okay.
Pledge to devote all my time to the radio family.
Pledge all my time to the radio family.
And I know that in times of trouble...
And I know in times of trouble...
The radio family will come to me.
The radio family will come to me.
Speaking words of wisdom.
Speaking words of wisdom.
Let it be.
Let it be.
I think that's pretty much it.
Okay, that sounds good.
But if it's okay, can I just need to get some more details from you, but I'm pretty busy. Can I just give the phone to Siggy Mike to get some more details from you?
Oh, yeah, sure. I would love to.
Okay, just give me 1 sec, okay? Hang on. G'day, Soph, how are ya?
Oh, hi, Siggy Mike. How's it going after
Good.
replacing Intern Mike?
Nah, it's been fucking good. How you fucking been? You on Siggy? Oh, you're not here, so I can't give you one. But I'm having one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but...
Oh, we'll give you a rain check for that.
Yeah, no, we'll have a Siggy together. But I'm just got to... how do I spell your name? I've got SOPNQ4E.
You're very close. It's SOPHIE.
All right, no worries. I'll just keep what I've got. All right, Soph, thanks so much. I'm going to go. I got to go on smoke. I got to have a fucking Siggy, but great talk to you. Congratulations on the first superstar.
Oh, thank you. Stop telling Intern Mike inappropriate things.
Oh, yeah, no, me and him are going out doing pingers soon. Anyway, I got to go. I'll put Mike back on. Hey, Soph, I'm really sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay. We all have those interesting staff members.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, anyway, congratulations.
Thank you so much. I wear it with pride, the name.
Just out of interest, have you answered the phone to anyone else saying this?
I was very close. I almost said that to my doctor. I was like, oh my God, that would have been embarrassing. But they didn't have a private number, so I just risked it anyway. But
Yeah, cool.
yeah. Well, thank you for including me on your podcast. I mean, I haven't had that from any other podcast. It's been great.
Guys, can you believe it? We do have our first radio superstar there. That was history in the making. Hey, Radio Pat and Radio Judd, man, you could be next. Your time is coming soon. Remember, you have to answer the phone and say, I wake up with today. Right? I wake up with today. Those are the magic words you have to say. Sophie is now the first radio superstar. So what does that entitle her? What is she entitled to as the first radio superstar? Well, I'm about to tell you. Basically, as a radio superstar, you now get to become... Actually, funnily enough, I'm now realizing I haven't thought about this as much as I should have. First of all, like, now she gets referred to on the show as a radio superstar Sophie as opposed to Radio Sophie. There will be some other things, but when more people become radio superstars, it'll become more apparent. So let's just hold off for now, and then I'll tell you all the amazing things that you get to have when you are a radio superstar. So here's what I want to talk about today, and I wondered if I should talk about it or not, but at the end of the day, I just thought I should talk about it, and I'm just going to, put a few disclaimers here and there just so you know. But did anyone see the new show from Chris Lilley, Lunatics? Did anyone watch it? Has anyone seen it? What did you think? Let me know. Post on the socials, etc., etc. So if you don't know or you're unfamiliar, Chris Lilley is a comedian and method actor from Australia who is probably most famous for portraying a lot of different characters, some of which have become quite popular in Australian popular culture. However, he is no stranger and is not shy to a lot of controversy. His first show back in the day was called We Can Be Heroes, Finding the Australian of the Year. He's always worked in mockumentary. In this show, he portrayed 6 characters. Most notably, he portrayed Jemay King, who went on to be probably his most famous character, a private school girl from Sydney who is very, very privileged, but also unaware of her privilege.
Some girls in my year get like totally jealous and stuff, and I think it's probably because I'm hot as well. It must be really hard for them, but like it's not exactly my fault. Do you know what I mean? So I can't help it. I didn't ask to be born hot.
Now, in this show as well, he also portrayed characters like Phil Olivetti, a dad who is very self-involved to the point where he nominates himself for Australian of the Year.
I wanted to be, when I grew up into a man, I wanted to be up there with your Einsteins and your Ian Thorpes and your Russell Crowes and your Rove and your... I wanted to be special.
As well as Daniel and Nathan Sims, 2 twin brothers, identical twin brothers, of which Chris Lilley plays both. Now, I think I should start this by saying that when this show first came out, it was a very different time. I think culturally, Australia was very different, and I think social media was far less prevalent at this point. So I think that the more controversial characters, such as the Chinese physics student at the University of Melbourne, Ricky Wong.
I used to always say physics is fun, but I would spell it with a PH, fun.
Fast forward a few more years to 2007, and Chris Lilley breaks out with Summer Heights High, which is probably one of the most well-known Australian TV shows of all time, where he revives the character of Jemay, sends her to a public school called Summer Heights High as part of an exchange program. Here we also meet Jonah Takalua, possibly the other one of Chris Lilley's most popular characters. A little bit of a problem student, I guess you could say.
Okay, oh look at him.
Yes?
Shake his hand.
Yes? And say, sorry, Ben.
Sorry, Ben, motherfucker.
No, Jonah.
Finally, Mr. G, who is a drama teacher who is so self-involved and obsessed with his own creative vision that he puts himself before all of his students' wishes and everything else. And let's be real, objectively the best Chris Lilley character.
Well, one of my big duties, and I've been doing it for about the last 5 years or so, is evacuation procedures.
There's a fire in the school, everyone. There's a fire. There's a fire in the school. Get out, quick.
I find that I use my acting skills to create the drama of the situation.
I still think that there is something about this show that is very tight, it is very relatable, it is very satirically on point. Of course, there are some issues with this show, which I will dive into a little bit more detail with later, but I do think that this show is his best work. I think that while these characters are generally unlikable over time, particularly with Jonah, you start to see a little bit more nuance, and you start to see a little bit more emotion, and you start to sympathize a lot. You realize that his external persona and his tough guy persona is actually a little bit of a barrier or a little bit of a facade to cover up his deep emotional challenges when you realize that his mother passed away when he was quite young and his father is a little bit aggressive towards him as well. You realize that there's a bit more going on there, and I think that this was a really good way of developing him as a character. I do really think that this is a great show that has a place in Australian culture. However, some people would disagree, and I think that's okay. Again, I'm always open to people disagreeing with me. Fast forward a few years later, 2011, I believe, Chris Lilley puts out his next show, Angry Boys. Bigger in scope than any show he's done before. He revives the characters of Daniel and Nathan Sims from We Can Be Heroes.
My car is a manual. My name is Daniel.
You also meet their grandmother, Gran Sims, who is a prison guard at a juvenile detention centre.
Well, if a real ratbag kid comes in, a real psychopathic style kid with all the anger issues in the world, they usually send him straight to Gran, and I'll sort him out. The boys fear me. I can be a real fucking cow if I need to be.
Turn the fucking television off, Marlon.
And the idea of Angry Boys, from what I could understand, was that it was a look on all of the issues with masculinity and growing up male in the 21st century. You also meet characters like Blake Oakfield, a former champion surfer who is left without having any testicles after being shot in the balls in a gang accident. Blake, I think that this, the idea of this was that if you're going to look at what it means to be a man, then what is the best way of satirizing that than having a character that literally has, quote unquote, no balls?
I looked down, saw blood on my shorts, and that's when I knew I'd been shot in the balls.
Perhaps his most controversial character of all time in this series, Smouse, appears as well. Now, Smouse is an African-American rapper who, in my opinion, seemed to be more satirical on the music industry and celebrity culture in America. However, Chris Lilley dons blackface for this character, which historically has a lot of racial and racist connotations. Some really deeply hurtful connotations as well.
That's Dot Mouse. It's a revolutionary name, you know why? Because it got punctuation in the middle of it. You don't often see that shit.
For obvious reasons, this has caused a lot of issues for him in his career that he portrayed this character. Now, as I said, I think that this character was more of a commentary on how the music industry can sort of, make people famous and then just spit them out and forget about them immediately. Smouse himself seems to be a parody of Soulja Boy. That's what I got out of it. You can hear it pretty starkly in this song by Soulja Boy.
Crank that song, now what? Crank that song, now what? Crank that song, now what? Crank that song, now what?
This song by Smouse in the TV show.
You at the animal zoo. I said now you at the animal zoo. I love it zoo. It's the animal zoo.
They're very, very similar songs. It seems like it was quite clearly an attempt to kind of poke fun of that. However, it becomes problematic when you have a white actor in blackface appearing to satirize and make fun of, African-American people, and I agree that it is problematic. And when this show came out in 2011, I was the biggest fan of it. I thought it was incredible. I thought he was incredible. And I do think that he is a very good actor, but I also think that there are problems with, portraying people of different races to yourself, particularly with the historical context of those things. Smouse as a character, I think all of the characters in Angry Boys do have depth, and I think that they do have a lot of nuance, and there's a little bit more to them than what meets the eye. I do think there are issues with the initial concept of actually portraying these characters in the first place. One thing that is interesting to note is that in most of the press write-ups for this show, in which they critique Smouse as a character and the racial implications of the character, often they completely omit the fact that on the same series is Jen Okazaki, a Japanese mother, who Chris Lilley portrays.
My husband Yuki and I moved over to America from Japan for a new life for the children.
I find this kind of interesting because I think a well-researched writer would see this as something that would only help their case. But the fact that Jen is often completely missing from these articles, when to me it would be the same implication entirely, seems really interesting, and it sort of says to me that most people who are writing about this haven't actually seen the show and haven't actually are just sort of part of a bandwagon groupthink approach where they haven't seen it but want to comment on it anyway. Doesn't negate any of the things that I'm saying in terms of racial insensitivity, but I do find it kind of interesting that that's the case. And I appreciate the irony of me as a straight, white, able-bodied man talking about these things, which is why I don't really want to dwell on them too much, mainly because I feel like it isn't my place to talk about these things, and I don't necessarily have the authority or the experience to talk about these things, and I would prefer for someone else to have a voice on these kinds of things. And I'd rather learn from other people, from their own experience with this kind of thing, listening to other people's stories as opposed to just putting my own opinion out there, because there are enough people like me putting their opinion out there, and I think it's important that we listen to other people's opinions. And I think that again, I'm not telling you what to think. I think you should watch the show yourself and form an opinion about the show. I think there are parts of these shows that you can enjoy. I don't think that these shows are holistically bad. I think there are some things that are racially insensitive, and I think it's your decision as to whether you choose them or not. But I think when you watch these things, you should be aware of the cultural implications of the things that are occurring, which I think that often with someone like Chris Lilley, who does tend to aim towards a much younger audience, I think that often the younger audience aren't, mature enough to grasp some of the concepts that he's dealing with here. Over the next few years, he put out 2 more series, Jamae, Private School Girl, and Jonah from Tonga, which featured exclusively Jamae and Jonah, and I just didn't really think that these shows hit the same points as those characters originally did. I think that a lot of the nuance went out the windows, and they did just become really, really heightened stereotypes, and I don't think that it was all there. I don't think it was as strong as the previous work. There were a few laughs here and there, but again, I didn't really think it was incredible. Jonah ends up going to the prison that Gran works in Angry Boys, really solidifying this idea that Chris Lilley's world is like this, cinematic universe akin to the Avengers. But anyway, that is what it is. And now he's put out a Netflix series, Lunatics, which dropped in its entirety last week. Features 6 new characters. Some of these characters I find really good. Special mentions to Joyce, the former adult film star, who is a really nuanced character that I think there is a lot of depth to, and I think she is actually quite interesting to watch.
Oh, bloody Nora. See those birds up there, those grey ones? See them? They have been staring at me. They have cameras in their eyes, and they stare at me, and they store information on discs.
The character Gavin, who is a 12-year-old boy that Chris Lilley portrays, didn't quite hit it for me. I thought that this one was a bit off, particularly as Chris Lilley is in his 40s and portraying a 12-year-old just didn't really work.
When I'm 13, that means I'm not an adult. It means I am an adult from the government. I'm not a child anymore. That's when you are one, illegally.
Maybe he could still pull off a 16-year-old, but I don't see why it had to be a 12-year-old. It could have been 4 years older than that and maybe worked the same way Jonah worked. But anyway, overall, I thought the series, again, didn't really have the same nuances as something like Summer Heights High, but it was all right. There were some funny moments. The characters just weren't as endearing either as some of the older characters. Did you watch the show? Did you enjoy it? Let me know on the socials. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on all of this stuff. Again, watch things with a critical eye when you do watch them. Hey, we did this a couple times back in the day. We're going to do it again today, just very quickly, because I want to talk about something I saw online. So it is about time we do this.
This is the shittest thing I've seen all week, featuring me, Radio Mike, the guy from the podcast. Also, fuck you.
It's the shittest thing I've seen all week, where I talk about shit things that I see. I see a lot of shit things in real life, on the internet, Instagram, everything. People say shit things to me, and I always think about them and laugh about them in my head. Today I want to talk about shit journalism. I think that the internet is rife with shitty journalism. Shit, lazy journalists that want to get as many clicks as possible to get as much money as possible, that do little research and don't actually care about their product. They just need to get as many stories out there and as many clicks on their stories as possible. This sort of coincides with something that happened this week in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, the current iteration of the Super Smash Bros. Series. The second DLC character launch, Joker from the game Persona 5, is now a playable character. He's really cool. I'm enjoying playing him. Let me know if you're playing the game, and if you're playing Joker, I'd be interested to see what you think. Now, whenever a new character comes to Super Smash Bros, they come with their own stage, like a level that you can fight on, plus a bunch of music tracks from their respective game. And
Sorry
Joker...
to interrupt, Mike. Do you want a ciggy? I'm just going to head out and have a ciggy.
No, I'm in the middle of the fucking podcast. Cut that out of the editor, Mike.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely get that one cut out.
Thank you. Just going to disclaim at first that I don't know much about Persona. I've never played the game. I have never played any game in that series, but I do really want to talk about this because I think this is a really good example of shit journalism on the internet. The main theme from the game, Persona 5, is called Wake Up, Get Out, Get Out. Sorry, Wake Up, Get Up, Get Out There. This theme is included in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate now that Joker is in the game. Here's a little bit of that song here. A publication called Kotaku Online, Kotaku UK, wrote an article. I'm not going to say the journalist's name. I'm not about like naming and shaming people, but I will talk about this because I think it's really important for people to know that this is just a fantastic example of why online journalism is shit. Basically, about maybe halfway through the song or late in the song, this appears. I'm going to let you hear it without me giving any context on this. I'm just going to let you hear what it says, right?
Let's go. Let's play retarded.
A lot of you hearing that might have heard that it kind of sounds a little bit like the R word, which is a slur against mentally disabled people. So, the website Kotaku runs an article basically accusing Nintendo and Atlus, the publishers behind the game Persona 5, for including a song with a disability slur in its lyrics. However, basically what happened very quickly after that is that Atlus, the company, came out and said that that word does not appear anywhere in the song. In fact, that is a Japanese singer saying the words retort it. I'm going to say again that I completely think that it does sound a lot like that word. However, your job as a journalist is to not think something and then post it and publish it to your website. Your job as a journalist is literally to do research and then present your facts to your readers. If you cannot do basic research, then you should not be a journalist. Okay? If I heard this and thought what I did think that it could sound like that, what I would do immediately is go to the following people. I would approach Nintendo for comment. I would approach Atlus for comment. I would try even to get in touch with the artist for comment. I would also try and get a copy of the official lyrics to this song to find out if it actually says that or if I'm just writing a story that is based on no factual evidence. A lot of people online are now accusing Kotaku of racism and that it's just them misinterpreting the accent of the Japanese singer. It's all a bit of a clusterfuck and it's a little bit stupid, but I think this is something you should be aware of every time you read a text-based story online, that these companies are just smashing out articles. They just want to get articles, they just want to get clicks, they just want to get attention because that's how they make money. Research costs time, time costs money, therefore it is better for them to put this story out with no research, even though it's not true, than to actually do research and approach all these people and find out the truth. They were wrong, they have since issued an apology for this article, the editor has come out and said that, and I know you might think, oh, does it really matter? It's just one small error, one inconsistency. Why does it matter? It does matter because what it says to me is that your publication does not have journalistic integrity and that no one in your publication is actively editing the stories that you post or even questioning things. And I see this all the time, like, even with the Chris Lilley stuff that we've just talked about, there are articles that say, like, Jonah, the character, debuted in 2011 in Angry Boys, which is just completely not true. In fact, he doesn't appear anywhere in that show. He appears in 2007 in Summer Heights High, and that information is so easy to access via Google that I think it's a little bit ridiculous that no one in your publication could check and verify that fact. You'd have to be actually so ignorant and care so little about your product that you wouldn't actually do any research to verify your facts and you'll just hit publish as quickly as possible. Some people wouldn't care, but I care because it shows that you don't actually care about your publication at all. My opinion on this is that you should go to news sources from individuals that are not writing for a company. They are their own thing, particularly YouTubers and podcasters. I know I'm a podcaster, so that's a bit vain, but I think that if you want news, you should go to people who are working for themselves because they almost have to make sure that their information is accurate and up to date, because if they're not, people aren't going to go to them, whereas people will flock to fucking stupid news websites because they're easy to access and easy to read, but they're often not accurate at all. And I do encourage you to seek out platforms and seek out publications that are accurate and do have journalistic integrity. So congratulations, Kotaku UK, you are the shittest thing that I've seen all week. The shittest thing. Guys, I think we're going a bit long this week. However, I want to finally wrap up this chapter in this segment.
Harry Potter and the Boys, a live reading by Radio Mike.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Snape. Man, I think we've been doing this one for like 3 weeks now because it's a fucking long chapter of Harry Potter and the Boys, my fan fiction of Harry Potter that I wrote when I was in year 7. Let's get straight into it today and do finish off this chapter. So I believe they've come from the Quidditch pitch for Quidditch training and they're now going to a Transfiguration class with Miss Granger, Professor Granger, sorry. Here we go. The boys looked at their timetable. They had Transfiguration and then they had the weekend. They walked to the Transfiguration room. The door was half open. The boys suddenly heard a voice. Again, it was Mr. Charger, he's the evil bad teacher, and the snake-like voice. There was also the voice of Professor Granger and someone else that they didn't know. I will sue, you know, the unknown voice said. Please, don't resort to this. It is not our fault, Professor Granger said. I wonder what's going on here. Oh, it's not? The snake-like voice asked. Stop, Mr. Charger cried. Intruders! The door flew open. And the boys were visible. Oh, you must be here for the lesson, Hermione said. Well, come on in. The boys walked in with about 12 Hufflepuffs. Mr. Charger and a tall man with long grey hair was standing next to him. They exited. Interesting, I wonder who that is. Sounds like Dumbledore, but I don't think it's Dumbledore. Now, students, today we will be learning how to change a person into a shovel. I always wondered that about Transfiguration. Like, I'm pretty sure in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, they're learning how to turn their pets into teacups. Is that a thing? Am I remembering that wrong? In the movie, and it's Ferroverto. Like Ron's like Ferroverto. Does that happen? And it's like, why would you need to do that? Why would you want to drink out of your rat? Anyway, okay. Now, students, today we'll be learning how to change a person into a shovel. Something you'll never fucking need. Now you need. And then it says, now you need all you need is a simple spell. This spell is called Sector Sempra, she said. Well, try it out, she said. Michael tried the spell out first. He pointed his wand at Rob and said, Sectum Sempra. That's a spell from Half-Blood Prince that, like, slashes people open. Suddenly, Rob started bleeding badly. Hermione kept on yelling about how it was different. It was Sector Sempra, not Sectem Sempra. Michael, take Rob to the hospital wing, now. Michael picked Rob up and took him down to the hospital wing. He waited there with him and apologised. In about 10 minutes, Rob was healed. Well, bloody Madame Pomfrey's such a trooper, isn't she? Transfiguration was over and the boys were ready for the first Quidditch match, which was tomorrow. The boys stayed up for hours talking. They knew that the game wouldn't be too easy. They were versing Slytherin. They all fell asleep at about 3 in the morning and they all had strange dreams. Luke dreamed that he was being tortured by Lord Voldemort. Just the classic dream. Lockie dreamed that he was an idiot. Hey, I had a dream last night. Oh, what'd you dream about? Oh, I just had a dream I was an idiot. Oh, that sounds shit. Sam and Tom, who were twins, had the same dream every night. They dreamed they were in Teletubby Land, which was frightening. But the dream that was most scary was Michael and Rob's dream. They were both having the same dream. Okay, what the fuck? Everyone just has the same dream. They saw themselves in a dark room that was dimly lit by a green light. It was just them and Lockie on their own. Mr. Charger entered the room. He had no pants on because Mr. Charger, I'm guessing Mr. Charger has Voldemort on his asshole. Like, yeah, that's what we're all thinking so far. Behind him, a tribe of men stood clearly. One was big and hairy. His whole body was full of hair. Actually, it was quite hard to tell if it was a human or some kind of Bigfoot, but he was very thin. This is such a weird sentence. One was not even a man, but a gigantic snake, a basilisk. So Mr. Charger's in this dream with Bigfoot and a basilisk. It had a star shining on its head. They both knew they had seen this star before. There were still a lot more men, but they couldn't make out any of them except that they were wearing black top hats with white suits. On their suits were the letters JWC. Mr. Charger whispered something to the hairy man and pointed at Lockie. The hairy man nodded and disappeared. Mr. Charger smiled an evil smile. He took out a wand but put it away. He raised his hand and a body appeared. Someone that was supposed to be dead. It was Dragon Mailboy. Oh my god, he was the dead guy. He was the bully who was based on Malfoy that died like really early on. But he was alive and well. And then the book says, I know, what the fuck? Another man came out of the group. It was the man they had seen exiting the Transfiguration room with Mr. Charger just before. He pointed at Mailboy and then at the boys. He continued this for about 15 seconds. He's just pointing at them and then pointing back. Hagrid then appeared. He was wearing a ballet dress and began to dance. Ah! A large shout was heard and suddenly Luke appeared lying on the ground. Suddenly, Michael and Rob awoke from their strange dream. Luke, that was the strangest dream ever, said Michael. Once he had explained his dream to everyone, he found out that Rob had the exact same dream as him. It couldn't have meant anything though, said Sam. Your brother Jeremy told us on the first day that Mr. Charger was a squib. He wouldn't have a wand. You could be right, said Rob. Oh, I am, said Sam, who believed he was always right. Quidditch was starting straight after breakfast. Harry Potter stood up. Just a reminder that Derek is a disgrace to all wizards. The boys made their way to the Quidditch pitch to meet Tim. He told them that the match was starting in pi minutes. So I guess 3.14159 minutes. They all got changed into their robes. They were all nervous. Timothy spoke again. Oh yeah, you need to enroll for the Quidditch competition, idiots. The boys enrolled and I forgot what I was going to write, so next chapter. That's what it says in the book. That was fuck. Man, so much stuff. I feel like we're getting into this story. Like, who are all these mysterious characters? JWC, the men in top hats, the Bigfoot guy, the gigantic snake. Man, this is really crazy. I'm really looking forward to it. What did you think? Let me know on the socials. Thank you so much for listening today. Siggy Mike, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, no worries, mate. See you outside. We'll just do some
I'm not
games,
doing
right?
games with you after the show. Editor Mike, thank you so much. Try and get in touch with intern Mike during the week, okay?
Yeah, look, I'll chat to him. You know, he's busy with his exams at the moment, but you know. Yeah, I'll just, I'll chat to him and see what's happening. Thanks, guys, for listening today. Thanks so much for having me back. Sorry the intern Mike's not back.
You can follow me on Instagram, radio.mike, Twitter, it's Radio Mike, radiomikepod@gmail.com. Yes, I nearly forgot it for a sec there, is the email. Send in voicemails, send in some emails. Let us know your thoughts on the episode. We will be back next week for a brand new episode, but for now, all I want to say really, the only thing I really want to say is that, I don't know, like, my name's like Radio Mike, and that this podcast has been like the inside of my mind. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening, I guess.